But I want to talk about something that I think is very awesome that really motivated you to be the person that you are. But you and your brother, Cliff Taylor, you guys started the Gloria Taylor Foundation in honor of your mom, who was an alderman in Harvey, and she also was a commissioner.
Yes.
Now, your mom was one of the first females and first African-American elected in the city of Harvey.
That is correct.
Now, tell us a little bit about that.
Wow. Being involved with my mom in the community, it was a very awakening experience for us. She was totally passionate about giving back and helping her community. She did so many back-to-school block parties. She just really embraced her community. She wanted Harvey to be a place people were proud to call home. You know, she really gave all her all. If a fire was in her ward, we got up to go see if the people needed anything. There were many times we brought clothes, diapers for family members, assisted people the way we could. She truly was a patriarch and someone who truly cared and was passionate about her community. My mother died several years ago, and watching her take her last breath of life made me realize my purpose and my assignment. I could not let her living be in vain. So as a result, watching her, I promised her on her deathbed that her living and her love for her community would not be in vain. I was not going to let anyone forget about her. I was going to not let what her foundation and what she put into the community be null and void anymore.
And you've ran this foundation for years.
Yes.
Man. This foundation is growing, it's getting better.
Yes, it is.
And, I mean, it's really reaching out.
Yes, yes. God is doing great things with us. We started off small with my board president. Our first year, we gave out maybe 100 toys. Now we give out over 1,000 toys and clothing and food. So God is just doing a great work if you stay and be patient. Something that I've been working on a lot with patience because I want the results right away, but it had to be in God's timing. So I'm just also excited about what God is doing with us and the things and opportunities that are growing. We've reconnected back with 205, working with Miss Beard over there, Jerry Dawson, 205, giving back to where I graduated. We're coming up with some new programs. We're about to do a conglomerate of organizations coming together to give back. You know, we're going to have an annex where people can come in and get support, services for counseling, training, mental, any type of services. If they need an attorney, you know, to help get child support or to see your kids. We want to be that one-stop shop where everything is there for you to assist you to be the best you can be, productive and positive citizens in our community.
That's awesome, man.
Yes.
That's awesome, Theresa. And you know what, Theresa? I mean, you're still writing books, right?
Yes,
and you wrote your first book, and it was a book on poetry.
Yes, it was.
Entitled "On the Inside of Me."
Yes.
Now, Theresa, let's talk about that book a little bit. Now, your foreword was written by a good friend of yours by the name of Serena Alexander. And let me say a couple words of what Serena had to say about you. She said, when I first met Theresa Dixon at Eastern Illinois University, where you went to college, she said she was the first person to speak to me on campus. After developing a true friendship with Miss Dixon, she shared with me her vision, passion, and how she was able to turn her trials into triumphs. At that time, I knew Theresa was destined for greatness. Now, Theresa, this is in your book, and this was way back when you was in college. Now, come on, Theresa, you was a leader all the way back then?
I think, you know, there's an old cliche that leaders are made and not born, you know, but watching my mother, I was birthed those leadership traits because I saw those things growing up. So I think I was a leader from day one. I was never a follower. Even back in grade school, people clung to me. They wanted to be in my group. So I always had those leadership qualities and traits. But this book of poetry deals with the real me. If those who truly know me know I'm really transparent, you know, I may put on this front, but I'm very humble. You know, I give God all glory and praise. It's not about me, it's about him. You know, so I know my assignment, I know my purpose, I know why I was created. And it's for him to get the glory. You know, so dealing with some things I've dealt with, I know other people, other women have dealt with that. So this book encompasses a little bit of everything. Dealing with, you know, life, death, vision. You know, my mom wasn't there when I got married. So I wrote a poem on what my mother would say to me if she was here on that day of my wedding day. You know, I wrote a poem to my husband at the time. I wrote a poem when I lost a child. You know, there's things that we deal with in life, you know, pressures and things and tragedies. I wrote a poem about my divorce, you know, and understanding when to let go. Because when you're out of order and you're not in the will of God, it just won't work. So this book encompasses things that women go through.
Is this book about life changes?
Yes. maturity, and growing. And it's all spiritually based. A lot of my poems go back to scripture.
Well, let me ask you, how can people get this book? I mean, you have an email? Or?
Yes, well, they can actually go to our website, which is www.gjtf.org, and actually shop there, and the book will be shipped off from the website once they make their payment. The website is www.gjtf.org. And they can also go on and visit and see some of the things we've done. I have a couple of presentations that I've done at several colleges that I spoke at, some of our toy giveaways, the people that we're involved in, our elected officials that support us. So they can go to the website and see what the Gloria J. Taylor Foundation is all about and what we're doing and what we're continuing to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You have a favorite scripture in this book that really brings some eyebrows, raise some eyebrows. But it's Isaiah 40 and 31. It says, but they that wait on the Lord and they shall walk and not faint. Why did you put this scripture in your book?
Well, actually, Serena, when she thought about me, that's the scripture that came to her. And she saw me and she saw my growth and the things that I was doing. This is what something that was brought out from her to me. And this is me. Waiting and letting God guide me and direct me and understanding my purpose and my assignment. So that's why that's there. That's me in a nutshell. Waiting patiently. Well,
I consider you as a motivator. I consider you as a person that's dynamic in reaching people.
Thank you.
And you being a life coach and enjoying speaking at colleges and universities and churches, why do you feel it is important to tell your story, and how do you feel empowering others with your life experiences?
Well, I'm blessed to be a blessing. A lot of things that I go through is not for me, but for others to see who God truly is. So the tragedies I've had, the triumphs that I've had, the ups and the downs, the pains, the pitfalls, not all of them are just for me. It's for my growth and to make sure I stay connected, and have my true relationship with Christ. I think a lot of people don't understand what a true relationship is with our Creator. And once you develop that, and you can handle all these situations. So I think God is using me to be that outlet, to be that example of what people need, and to just let Him get the glory out of it. So I'm real transparent. I love sharing my stories. I grew up in Harvey, west side of Harvey, in the village. Society say I should be on welfare with 6 kids. My brother should be locked up, or 5 kids by 4 different baby mamas. But I stand here on your show with a master's, a bachelor's, and a PhD. My brother's married, 2 children by his wife. So we broke that mold. We were taught how to live in the world and not be otherworld. So we are examples of what we need to be seen in our society today. So that's why we give back. We're reaching back. One of our philosophies that we passion our mission stay behind the Sankofa. In order to move forward, you got to go back and help someone. So that's our vision, and that's what we do, and that's what we're working on.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, Dr. Dixon, you've done incredible things out here, man. With the Harvey Twisters wrestling organization.
Yeah, I used to be a coach with them.
Yeah, coaching wrestlers and helping with the football programs and
young ladies.
And as a mom, and I've seen you as a family woman, I've seen you as a businesswoman, I've seen you as a motivator, life coach, I've seen you inspire the masses. What's in the future for Dr. Theresa Dixon?
What God has for me is for me. The direction I'm moving in now is more public speaking. We're about to develop a website. I've been blessed to speak at several colleges, at different churches. So I'm just whatever the path God is laying for me. Again, we're about to open up our own little annex, so we're going to provide all type of services for people who need it. Wonderfully, I'm happy to be working back with 205 to get some things done. So we really got some things going.
Is there a number so people can reach you or to get in contact with you?
Yeah, actually, for people that want to book me or for any speaking engagements, any workshops, they can call my publicist, which is Heloise Smith, and she can be reached at 708-574-3898.
What's her name again?
Heloise Smith.
And give us that number again.
708-574-3898.
Well, guys, you heard Dr. Theresa Dixon live here on the Willpower Show, and she's really, we're talking about, some great things that she's doing out here in the America today, in the community today, and her community involvement, being at a professor at South Suburban College, and writing books, and her business is going strong, and I'm excited about that.
Thank you. I am too.
And I'm excited about you being on the Willpower Show.
I am as well.
Reaching the people today through the airways and letting them know who you are, what you represent, and I think it's so important that you said one very powerful thing. You said that it's not you.
It's not me.
It's God.
It's all about Him.
You know, what have your relationship been with God in helping you continue to go strong in your business?
Well, it's a constant, intimate relationship with God, spending quality time alone in the presence of the Lord. And I think some people don't understand that and how powerful that can be. And you're able to overcome so many things once you have that intimate relationship, listening to what He says, reading His Word, just making time for Him. We make time for everybody else, but we don't make time for our Creator. And I think this is where a lot of people miss the mark.
I see. I see. Well, guys, you know what? We're coming to a close of this show on the Willpower Show. But you know what? Dr. Theresa Dixon, I want to thank you for coming on the Willpower Show.
Thank you for having me.
And I want to thank you for being one of my leaders and being my business manager for all these years and bringing me to Daryl King to start the Willpower Show today.
People needed to see who you are and hear you.
Well, you know what? You inspired me so much. But hey, guys, we're coming to a close. Next week, I'm going to be discussing the easy way is the hard way. Stop taking the easy route, guys. Let's work hard and pay the price to win. We'll see you next week here on the Willpower Show. God bless you and thank you.
You have been listening to Will Franklin with the Willpower Show. Call today to get your mental, physical, and emotional fitness at 708-913-7308. That's 708-913-7308. Or email to will_Franklin at